This is a bonus video, a viewer question from Ernest Westfall. That's going to be our topic for this one. If you were Canadiens GM Kent Hughes, which three players and why would you look at moving during the offseason? Oof, there's a reason why we are not paid to be GMs. Rick, what do you think?
Top of the list for me, Jeff Petry said that he doesn't want to be part of the organization. Has to be moved. You have to accommodate him. Rid your dressing room of somebody like that. Jonathan Drouin, another player. I know he's been injured. I don't think he seems to fit the type of mold of consistency and real, true, hardworking character that Ken Hughes is looking for to put onto his roster. And Joel Armia, unfortunately, makes my list of a guy that shows up, doesn't show up, and a big guy that could do a lot more often, but doesn't seem to be interested in doing it.
Okay, Dan, what about your list?
Well, I will say Jeff Petry for sure, for the reasons that Rick listed. And I've been wondering, has he lost his game? If he moves on and he's happy somewhere else, we'll find out. I do think there's no way he's back. Mike Hoffman has to go. I know there's 2 years left on his deal. He on a good team, he's an okay complimentary player. On a rebuilding team or whatever you want to call it, he's not helping. No goals in his last 21. If Mike Hoffman isn't scoring goals, he's not Guy Carbonneau. He's not helping you out in his own end. And this kills me to say it, but Brendan Gallagher, I love the guy. I think there's a chance for him to bounce back next year with a good summer of training, but that is an onerous contract. We know that. And if the Canadiens could somehow get out from under it, I think it would help them a lot.
Yeah, Drouin and Armia, as you brought up, Rick, but I don't think there's any market at all for those guys right now, especially Drouin missing so much time with another wrist surgery. And Armia, Armia is who Armia is, right? He looks like he has all the skill in the world to be a superstar and just doesn't bring it. I think that contract's going to make him untradeable. Dan, I agree. I mean, Petry, Hughes has said that he's going to make a deal only if it makes sense for both teams. But I think in the summer, he's just going to take the best offer he gets for Petry. I don't think you want him around, like Rick said. You don't want a guy here who doesn't want to be here. His wife doesn't want to be here. I think when you're rebuilding with a young team, that's not a guy you want to have around the locker room. I agree with you, Dan, too. Brendan Gallagher. With that contract, I think if the Canadiens are willing to eat a chunk of that contract, I think there's a market out there for Brendan Gallagher. This has been a tough season for him. He played in the groin injury in the playoffs last season, had a short summer, been hurt. It's been obvious he's been hurt. The effort level is always there with Brendan. I think there might be a market for him. And Carey Price, I mean, they'd love to get out from under that contract, but I just don't think at this point, even if the Canadiens were to eat half of it, I don't think the market's out there for that. But as you mentioned, I think Petry will be gone. I think Hoffman will be gone. And I think there's a good chance, and as I like you, Dan, I love Brendan Gallagher. He comes to play every game, but I think he'd like a fresh start somewhere else also. He's mentioned that he wants to win, and I think he'd appreciate going somewhere where he'd have a better chance. So you wonder if the LA Kings might have interest, reuniting him with Philip Deneau, and we know Marc Bergevin, who might be the biggest Brendan Gallagher fan there is there also. So I wonder if there might be interest in LA at Brendan Gallagher if the Canadiens are willing to eat, if they're willing to eat half of that contract. Brendan Gallagher on a $3 million deal isn't that bad.
Got to say, Marc Bergevin not giving Philip Deneau the extra money so he can stay in Montreal, only for Philip Deneau to score 25 goals with the Los Angeles Kings, and then Marc Bergevin still gets to reap the benefits of that. That is just amazing to see. My three guys, I'll just say, Joel Armia, there's been way too many games where he has not been good. I get the market for him might not necessarily be as high. He has looked good in spurts in the last few games, but when he's not on the score sheet at all, I mean, his contributions on the other end of the ice are only so large. Mike Hoffman, a bit of the same deal here. When he's not scoring goals, he's not doing all that much. And yeah, I guess you kind of have to put Jeff Petry, who might get the best return out of all three of those players. But you asked who we would move as GMs and not necessarily what would make the most sense. So those are my three picks. Good question, Ernest. Very good question. And we are always open to more questions. We could even get to them in a bonus video So please let us know in the comment section who you would let go if you were Kent Hughes and why, of course. And you can also let go some questions that hopefully we can get to in another bonus edition of the Hockey Inside Out Show. Subscribe to the Hockey Inside Out Show on YouTube. Subscribe to the Hockey Inside Out newsletter and visit hockeyinsideout.com. That is a lot of words to say. That is a lot of housekeeping to keep track of for this podcast.